Yeah, please continue.
So, you know what happens? It's such a vicious game where sometimes the lawyers compromise, as we say that the police is complicit, or CBI officers are complicit, or they are lazy, or they are incompetent. Competent. We make so many excuses and so many, you know, uh, uh, uh,
Statements.
yeah, statements about them. But how do you know that they are not being pressurized or threatened by the same criminals? So people, do get scared.
Yes. Ma'am,
People
ma'am,
are attached
I
to their
have to
family.
break you here because I want to just highlight this thought that you are invoking in people, because I think I'm really, really grateful to you that you are also thinking for those people who are not able to do their job, although you understand the human mentality, and you understand that even those people who fail you, we must give our compassion to them and not just blame game them, but understand the whole totality. It's a beautiful point you've raised up. The people who are chasing the justice must understand that everybody has their limitations and they're walking through their limitations. Of course, you are also having limitations, but you have trespassed those limitations. You also not got the ocean of money. You're not, you're doing what the best you can. You're not stopping everywhere. So I think this is a it's extremely beautiful point you raised, and I want people who are hearing you must understand. So here we are not blaming, as you rightly, you're the proof. You've fought for 8 years for your child, your blood and flesh, and you're still favoring, you're still understanding their limitation, and that's hats off to you, ma'am, with full, heart, from my hand on my heart. And so this is a wonderful point, but please continue the one you were saying.
I
Let's go.
think
Yeah.
that if Salyan is our sister or
Yeah.
our daughter, if Sushant is our brother or our son, so you say now, why is your heart going? Of course, my heart is going because I'm seeing injustice. I'm seeing injustice, and I'm seeing the vulnerability of the family, the vulnerability of the officers, many, many things putting together. So we people, we are the voice. So we have got to give them also the strength, because they will also get the strength when they see the movement, when they see, look what people are doing. Just making a move and standing at the door is not going to help. But when we collect, crowd fund it, when we collect, okay, we are raising a voice, here is the money. Is there anybody, some God savior, who will come and give justice so that we protect others, so that we live peacefully, so that we in this game, actually, we are not condemning the criminals, we are giving a chance to the criminal also to reform, not to commit more sins. You see, we are stopping him from committing more sins. We are stopping him from having such such adverse calamity upon himself. By doing this, we are protecting his karma also.
Absolutely.
Otherwise he can go and commit maybe 50, 60 sins, such crimes. Keep on killing, keep on taking. There are serial killers like Ted Bundy and all who have done 50, 60 killings. There are psychopaths
I'm with you. I'm with
who
you.
have done it. And what was the eventual outcome? There is no invincibility or some immortality. But then what a humiliating death. And it's not easy to die. So don't give me that excuse or that kind of a thing that Jiah committed suicide. You slap yourself if you say that.
I'm
You
with
have
you.
got to be ashamed of yourself without even knowing the family, without even knowing Jiah, to say something like that, and without even knowing Sushant. People who knew him are complicit with the criminals because they are coward. Like my friend was saying, Are, don't take his name, don't say, because his father is very powerful, and his connections are very high end. So what? Is he playing God?
I'm with you, ma'am. Totally with you. Ma'am, I would just draw back in the regard that you have come out with some very valid points. You also mentioned in our last discussion that governments, as you've mentioned it many times, I want to just say it one more time, that the CBIs, like when Entela came, when the Entela thing came, how did they
Yeah.
do it, right?
Immediate orders.
Yeah,
We want the result ASAP. Immediate orders. That even the officers went into the river and got the. And then what happened? Those digital gadgets were damaged, but they got the information, no?
exactly.
And people were interrogated. Today, Mansuk's cause of death has been declared that he was murdered, brutally murdered. His pictures were all over flashing. Sushant's pictures and Jia's pictures were not flashing through police or anyone. They concealed every truth they were concealing. Wherever anyone who would go and say, yes, we have heard Jia's accused used to beat us up, they were told to shut up. Don't even mention it. So I was isolated and I was alone, thinking they are thinking how long she will fight, how long she will carry on. मेरी
Exactly.
बच्ची थी वो, यूनिवर्स ने मुझे दी थी. मैं तो हैरान होती हूँ दिशा सालियन के माँ बाप पर, एक तरह से, पर एक तरह उनकी मजबूरी भी समझती हूँ. उनके पास कहाँ इतना मादा होगा टू लुक इनटू. अरे कोर्ट कचहरी में तो स्टेटमेंट्स तो क्या, पेपर्स निकाल दिए जाते हैं. जब जज के पास में फाइल जाती है उसमें से रेलेवेंट पेपर्स निकाल दिए जाते हैं. उनके पियोन को 100-200 पकड़ा दो और पेपर निकल जाएगा. तो फिर जज, अब जज वहां पर क्या, जज डजंट नो, जज डजंट नो हु इज डूइंग व्हाट, हेरा फेरी. But eventually judge gets it because a lot of cases have been cracked. It was the either the intellect of a judge or his you know, his gut feeling that there is something more than what meets the eye. So it's a आप लोगों को तो अभी सुशांत का कुछ पता ही नहीं चला ऑफिशियली, कुछ आवाज ही नहीं उठी ऑफिशियली. हमारे केस में तो एक तरफ कहते हैं कि द फादर टोल्ड द सन टू डिलीट द ब्लैकबेरी मैसेजेस. Then police changes the statement and says, no, the son deleted it because he was feeling irritated. And the son was dining with Jiah one night before in Marriott Hotel, discussing where she's discussing about her sister arriving next day and the jewelry order and discussing about the film that she has got, and she's going to be flying to London following Thursday. So she will be leaving for London. Very amicably, very nicely, very friendly, eating at her expense, and next day becomes cold. Why? Because Jiah gave him the money to give it to the jeweler, and he had a change of mind. So they were conversation was going on. That why I never knew about this. I came to know only from the statements. Jiah never told me that because she wanted to give a surprise. All she told me, Mummy, it is Kavi's birthday, her sister's birthday, and she's preparing a surprise for her. So for me, it was just a surprise gift. So I came to know the surprise gift was the jewelry. So he suddenly decided that he wants to just, keep that money for himself. So they had a fight. And that is very logical. And second fight reason was that I have signed 3 films. I want to celebrate with you. You're a boyfriend. You were dining with her. Right? So I'm sure that authorities have asked him this question. So now he twists and says, no, Jiah and mother were having fight. You never said that in your statement before. So now you're trying to fool the audience more. But you are not understanding, Mr. Accused, that you are lying and your lies are very getting evident each day. So the fight was regarding why you are not happy that I have signed the films,
mm,
and why you are not giving money to Nilu. You are telling me you're going and meeting Nilu, and Nilu is saying that she's supposed to meet you tomorrow, the next day.
mm,
So there was a confusion in all that. So she
mm,
goes to the house. She sees, and he says, she calls the servant, and servant says, "Oh, tell Jiah is calling." So he says, "Oh, tell her that I'm with the father, but you're sitting with your boyfriend, and you're telling." And the servant says, "No, she was standing at the window and she saw everything. So how can I say that she's seen it?" So he gets that rage and that fury, tells his boyfriend, "Go and see which direction she's gone." Why? In 1 minute you're saying that I'm trying to avoid her, right?
mm,
And we fell off. She was getting behind me because she had a fight with mother. And then you're getting going after her to find out why. You want to find out where she's gone. What's your agenda? Did police find out? Did he follow? Did police find out from Karan Joshi?
mm,
Did the watchman who directed that she's gone to this direction? There are 14 CCTV. Why did police not take 14 records from the 14 CCTV from his house and up to Jia's house? There are ISKCON temple. ISKCON temple have got 4, 5 CCTVs on the road,
mm,
and he stays just next to the ISKCON temple. So if he's crossing that road, it will be seen in that CCTV. If he's crossing that street, there are so many shops that have got CCTV. I'm telling you, there are 14 CCTVs.
mm,
But the police was not interested because police was told not to look that side, look the other way. So why? Because there is a truth in it. So you've got to understand, my dear, that what questions you're raising, that's the question police have already looked into, and now they want to cover that. And all the other stories that you're hearing are diversions. Catch hold of Riya Chakravarti. Inside, you don't know inside the jail what was happening. She was not interrogated. She must have been given the best of food and some consolation that don't worry, you have to spend 21 days. Because there is a thing that if you spend custody time 21, then in another agency who will come, they cannot take you in the custody. You see, there are all these system. A system has got something within the system, which police is not going to say that we have arrested her for 21 days. Now we cannot arrest her. CBI is not going to say. Who is going to tell you? I am telling you. So imagine what a common man, if he goes and wants to stand as a witness, is so badly interrogated by the police
yeah,
that he decides, why did I do this?
yeah,
Why did I volunteer?
mm,
I better get out. So
mm,
what I'm saying, in sabotaging evidences, there is a truth.
yeah,
In delaying the trial, there is a truth.
mm.
And the truth is exactly what your gut says.
I'm with you, ma'am. I'm with you. And I'm totally so grateful to you that
Yeah.
I have, it's so, because the fact is that you are now sharing the truth of the system, how the system is working. It is your independent case. You're not just talking stories here. You're not a YouTuber. It's happened to your own flesh, kith and kin, for God's sake. So this is a beautiful eye opener for public. As you said, this is their gut feeling, and now they have to put it on action. If they want to have some kind of saviorness, they must support you. They must support Sushant Singh's case in terms of going out and telling people that, okay, we're going to hire somebody and we're going to make sure that the files are opened the way they're supposed to.
Look, Republic Channel, as you can see, the TRP went very high. The entire world was watching and hooked on it. And they have exposed, they called best of the experts, the best of the forensic experts, everyone, the officials and everything, and opened the entire system. They laid it in front. An entire proves that Disha Salian and Sushant Singh could have not taken their life. Right? What did authority do in Disha Salian's case? Somebody who has fallen from 14th floor. Where is the crime scene marked? Where is the forensic collected? Where are the pictures of the body, in what condition and how it was lying? Nothing, nothing, nothing. Where is the reconstruction? I am saying make a same weight model and throw it down on the floor from 14th floor and see what happens. You reconstruct it and see. And do same for Jiah and do same for Sushant. These authorities, we don't need to train them. We don't need to tell them what to do. They know. You see, if you go to a doctor, you have to give money for the doctor to diagnose you and to do what the doctor needs to do. So these lawyers, they know exactly what questions to be asked and what evidences to be collected. And if they are not getting it in writing, then go through the court. If you're not getting through the court, that means there is something serious. Like I am not getting anything through the court. So there is something very serious. So the pressure is on CBI. So why are you not asking? You need to ask the court. Why is CBI not going to Supreme Court and saying it has been almost a year and we have not got any evidences from the police? Let Supreme Court give order to Maharashtra. Why? Who is stopping? So I think Sushant has a family lawyer, and I did hear that he's putting pressure on pressing on charge sheet. And then soon probably he might go to High Court or Supreme Court saying that, it is they need to expedite because you have got to speed it up.
Yes. Yes.
We
But the,
know that there are billions of people in India, but there are not billions of Sushant and Jiah Khan and Disha Salian.
no.
Everyone is unique in their own way. So the saddest part is that authorities are not moving their finger.
That's
They are
true.
not. And I will not say they don't want to. They want to. So there are certain hindrances. So what are those hindrances? The hindrances can be, they can't say lack of people, lack of experts. There are millions of experts in the world. Yes, they can say lack of order from the central government, right? Or hurdles from central government, because CBI is central government, or lack of funds. So these are the two things that they can come up with.
Ma'am, one question is coming up when you're talking is like, if you have the answer for that, is CBI, the Central Bureau Investigation, is he also dependent on orders from uh, direct? Hmm.
It is a body governed by central government. When the central government wanted Chidambaram and others to be arrested overnight. So those funds are kept for those reasons. Sushant, like Antalya case was like a terrorist case, a national threat or a threat to a great business personality. But Sushant and Disha and Jiah, it's not interest of central government. High Court has given the order. Now what? Order तो मिल गया है. अब पैसा कहाँ से आएगा?
I understand. I understand.
Who will sanction that money? Public money. Mr. Ambani is a great taxpayer.
Right.
Sushant was also a taxpayer. Jiah was a taxpayer.
Mm.
Disha was a taxpayer. So count their taxes. If you're a taxpayer and this is how you're treated, the prisons are filled with all filthy people, in a sense, like somebody who does not even need to be in the prison. But why? When such crimes have happened and the criminals are roaming free, now Pitani has been given bail for marriage. Who's stopping you from getting married? Yeah, carry on. Because he's not found guilty.
Yeah.
So he will be given a chance to live his life.
I'm with you.
Jia's accused has not been found guilty. He has denied being guilty of torturing her, being guilty of aborting the baby, being not guilty of anything. He's saying, I'm not guilty of anything. So what he did is absolutely fine. Fine for the system, fine for the Bollywood icons and being human.
Mm.
It's fine for them. In fact, they made him a hero. That's the kind of candidates they want, because then they can use him as a weapon. He's a walking weapon.
Very true. Ma'am, I think you have been extremely kind of vibrant and have articulated to the core. And I hope people can recognize um, the play behind the scenes. You've
I
actually come out and
tap the
spoken.
door of human rights. That
Mm.
human right can appoint a lawyer, and
Mm.
human right can say, on human right, on human grounds, we want to know that these two human beings have been their life has been taken on what basis.
Yeah, yeah, I'm with you.
You understand me?
Mm.
So there is a body called CBC who acts above CBI.
Mm.
They should question what's happening. So just making remarks on social media, and all this is it will go on and it will die out its own death.
Mm.
But the real thing is to take an action, to form a fund, and you put Sushant Singh and Disha's justice fund.
Fantastic, ma'am. I really appreciate, and I think you've given the extremely valid, answers to people who are really, really interested to actually do something, not just about talking and writing some, statements in the Facebook. That's not
Yes.
what is going to help.
Condemning and condemning that, what,
Mm.
no point.
Yeah.
Because judiciary is a machinery, it works. Any good lawyer will appear and talk, they will listen. You need to bring the evidence forward. You need to bring, whether it is circumstantial or whatever, but evidence has to be forwarded.
I'm with you. Ma'am, you just let me know now. You are now waiting for your case to move on, and it's you said that wherever it is now, according to because you're never going to end fighting, and I'm sure SSRians and all the other who are facing, because I see that you are a greatest anchor for all the cases. At the same time, Sushant himself has been a greatest anchor for calling for justice and truth, and we SSRians are following that energy. Now, for me to ask you this question is basically that, from not from the emotional perspective, from your intellectual side, what do you see our justice, as you've mentioned it openly, what they're all about? You still believe that justice can prevail?
Look, word justice is a tall haul, long haul. I am saying, let the machine move. Don't let it stand. Right now, it is on a standstill, and it will. If it is not going to have a movement, it will. If it is not going to move, then it will definitely die out. So you have to let the wheels move, wheel of justice to move. and that needs fuel.
Yeah.
You understand my point? Government funds are kept for bigger reasons.
Mm,
They may say, "Oh, Rabia is bakwas kar rahi hai, what rubbish and ye wo na." I am not doing any bakwas.
mm, mm,
They say that the enemy is our enemy also. No,
mm,
I'm sorry, he's not your enemy.
mm,
In fact, on the contrary, you're sitting in an enemy's boat,
mm.
because enemies have got deep pockets. So we have got a lawyer will move if a lawyer gets his fees, because that is the base that he's living on.
I'm with you.
There is no Samaritans. Only sharks can eat. They don't attack their own kind.
Mm.
But the thing is that we have to have somebody, whether it is Mr. Advocate Vikas, or whether somebody more prominent face, uh, higher. That's what, if anybody thinks. I am not pointing out that XYZ. I am saying whatever it is, there is a big funds that needs to go to open Disha Salian's case,
Absolutely.
to open Sushant's case. And how any private this thing has to be, one has to hire the forensic experts, has to make a report, prepare the case. The lawyer can prepare the case and take it, that this is the expert's opinion, and that is the expert's opinion, and these are the questions that we want the authorities to answer. Then the police has to come to the court and answer those questions.
Absolutely. I'm with you, ma'am. Totally.
Yeah. So I think,
Yeah.
is there anything that
I think, ma'am, for today, ma'am, you've really, I think there's a lot of food to think. You've given lots of, a lot of people are actually saying, I'm not going to take up your time for that. I'm going to read them later on. But there are a lot of people who are really, really thanking you for actually being an eye opener and speaking your heart with so much of facts and making so much sense. A lot of people are thanking
I am
you.
saying, if you go and ask a question from police, will they answer you? No. But if the court will ask them, they will have to give in writing.
Yes. Yes.
Who is asking? So, Disha Salian, you forget, until unless the authorities are not asked question by the court.
I'm with you.
So, who is the Samaritan?
Got your point, ma'am. Absolutely got your point. Fantastic. I
In the
would just,
forest, the jungle. So, you have got to be fearless. And if you are coward, then please put a gravestone on the case.
with you, ma'am.
And then don't make a noise in hollow sky.
Absolutely, ma'am. Ma'am, lots of regards and respects to you. And thank you so much from the bottom of my heart to be here. Lots of love to you. Take care. Thank you. This was, I just don't have name for Ma'am Rabia. She's an amazing human being. She's such a fighter. We all SSRians get inspiration from such a human being who is not stopping, who is continuing her journey of fight for justice and truth. And she avails herself for every count. If ever I call her up, she absolutely amazing. She says, I'm going to go out and speak my mind. Because until we do not put things in actions, nothing will move. As she said, the wheels of justice must move through the actions. And if we as Sassarians can create a kind of a movement, not digital, but also movement, so we can hire some kind of, advocates who are willing to put their time and are willing to put their resources to figure this out so that they have some valid questions to the court and court must answer, because there's a lot of loopholes in these cases. I'm sure you people understand this. And so we need to not just simply be digitally active. We need to actually get going in practical terms. And practical terms is calling for the courts, raising questions to the courts, the agencies and authorities, whatever they are doing, but it's the court finally will raise the questions and answer the questions. Where is the truth behind the mysterious deaths of these people? Because we don't have any proofs today in our hands. All the proofs have been sabotaged. Everything we had is somewhere in the air, and for those things we need because court needs proofs, evidences. Who will get these evidences? From where do we find these evidences? Who will fight for these cases? We can raise our voices, but who will do the things in actuality, in practicality, is the question I raised to you, the Caesarians, the army that Sushant has created through his soulful being and his pure self. I raise these questions to you, Caesarians. Who will act and go out for solving these cases? Disha case, Sushant Singh Rajput's case, Jiah Khan's case, and all the other nameless cases that has been put to rest, in the hope that we will tire, we as Caesarians will get tired, and we will go back to the normal. Is that what we want? This is the question put to you by me, Sanya Raj, your host, coming back again sometime in next week. Jai Hind. Namaskar.